Hey guys, hey. All right, so Reality Ray the Lamb, aka Schizo Bisso. Right, so I'm back and just took a minute to let my phone charge and try to take care of a little bit of business. I can't necessarily get up right now, so I'm waiting till later on when I can get up because I needed some rest. So I couldn't get up before my caretaker left. So I'm down for a little bit, but it might be well needed rest. But it brought to my mind at that second um, why, and it made me think about a lot of companies in the past, and this is just a thought I had to say. I mean, I got to speak my mind. Why don't these companies be having staff? For me per se, I'm gonna say for me, they say it's like this with a lot of people, but I'm gonna say for me, why don't they be having staff? Because um if you can't staff me, and it came to mind, it was like a light. It came to mind like, if you can't staff me, then how can you staff others? And it's like, okay, well, they always come with the same thing, like, well, because they've had these people for a while, and these have been their clients, their original clients, and these are the one that they stay with, right? Okay, but how can you accept new clients if you can't staff me? So that was my question, and that was my thought that I was wondering, and that is kind of stuck on my brain. But I'm not gonna let it stay there because positive, I'm in a positive mind state, and that's where I want to stay. I want to focus on good things. I want to focus on my home. I want to focus on my life. I want to focus on how to do better, how to stay humble. Yeah, how to stay humble. But you know, I want to stay focused on the light, focused on God, focused on loving. I know that every once in a while I'm going to foul up because I'm going to get angry and I'm going to go off. But it's just my nature. It's our nature we have a negative. I think I was saying that yesterday. We have a negative side and we have a positive side. You just got to balance it out. And my balance is positive, more positive than negative. And that's how I feel good. That's how I feel good that way. I feel better that way. I feel balanced that way. So right now, of course, got the frankincense and myrrh burning. And over there is some music playing. It's some calm. This one right here. Wow, I didn't even know that was. It's actually the cozy mornings. It's the cozy mornings with the It's the cozy mornings. A Sunday chill mix. A Sunday chill mix. Yep. So, it'll be a minute till I do my makeup. That's not done yet. It'll be a minute. And it'll also be a minute till I get my wig on. If I put it on, or either really take my hair out so you can see my mane. That's kind of nice. That mane there is real nice right there. But right now I'm just chilling, relaxing, vibing, mentally meditating, still moving, still talking, but still meditating, calming. You know. Yes, so I did say. See, the only thing about this one is, but I'm still gonna do it just like this. We're gonna read that. Um, I wanted to go more into the I always forget the daily bread that I read last night. So 1 second. Let me see if this is it. Daily bread. So what if I do that again? Takes it away. Takes it away. Okay. So daily bread. This is funny. Um, look at it. Look at it. Oh, come on back. Gotcha. Okay. So, um, yesterday was November the 3rd. I tell you, sometimes I feel some things are made just for me. Punt, punt, jokey joke. Taking me a minute to get there. But the moment, there we go. So, November 3rd, Sunday, November 3rd, New Humanity says today's reading, Acts 2, 1 through 12. When they heard this sound, a crowd came together in bewilderment because each one heard their own language being spoken. I think I said I wanted to read that. So, while I was visiting London's Tate Modern Gallery, one piece of art caught my attention, created by Brazilian artist Cildo, I don't know what that says, Moreles, I guess. It was a giant tower made of hundreds of old radios. Each radio was turned on and turned to a different station, creating a I don't know what that word says either, but cacophony, that's really different, of confusing, indecipherable speech. Muriel's called the sculpture. Now, I could read, but this is different. I could barely see. And yeah, Muriel's called the sculpture Babel. Babel. Well, we know what Babel is. I don't know. Whatever. Babel. Baby talk, probably. Babel. Didn't make no sense. Probably worse than baby talk. Okay. This title is appropriate at the original Tower of Babel. Okay. God. By confusing mankind's language. Wait a minute. Tower of Babel. God thwarted humanity's attempt to seize, I can't see, right? To seize heaven by confusing mankind's languages. Ooh, and that makes so much sense. That he confused everybody. He confused everybody so they couldn't figure it out. They couldn't understand. They couldn't understand. Yeah, they couldn't understand other languages and wouldn't be able to break into the gates of heaven. Yep, attempt. Yep, humanities. Humanities. Now, this is crazy because I'm about to look this up real quick. Okay? My page just shut. I had to stop while I was reading it. Okay, so this means that God, I need to see what thwarted means real quick. So, real quick. So we're going to pause this music. Thwarted. Thwarted. That's sad, y'all. Thwarted. That is not the name. Thwarted. That's not right either. They say right. THWARTED.
Here's the definition of thwart. Prevent someone from accomplishing something.
Now you heard that. I still can't pronounce the name. Okay, got it at the bottom. Thwart. Thwart. They still got the W in it. Thwart. Okay, that's going to be a very difficult word for me to say. It says God thwarted. So that means he prevented someone from accomplishing something. Right. Bad things for good reasons, remember? Sometimes you got to do bad things for good reasons. Also, thwarted means oppose a plan or an attempt or the ambition successfully. Thwarted, which that means he was successful with preventing the plan that they attempted, to accomplish. All right, so let me go. Put my neck, my body. So that means that he stopped humanity. And who is humanity, you guys? Word for word. See, can't get no simpler than this. And break it down with facts. Who is humanity? Right. So I think that we're humanity, right? Humans, humanity, humankind, humanoid, human. Okay, so humans attempt to seize heaven. Now, not all of us, I'm sure he's not talking about. But then again, could he be humanity's attempt? Because that's the majority of humanity is focused on how to get to heaven, and people who don't need to be there and don't belong there are still trying to get there. Right? Right. So, in that attempt to seize heaven, he confused them with the languages. He confused them with languages. You hear that? He confused by confusing mankind's languages. So there are so many different languages out here that we can understand each other sometimes, can communicate with each other sometimes when we need it. And then there are other languages that we can understand. Other species, other languages. Totally different languages all over the place. It makes it really difficult, doesn't it? Got to go the extra mile. So, no longer able to communicate with one another, humanity fractured into tribes or various dialects. I'm posting this. This is beautiful. Do you know this is very important? Do you know how important this is? Like, this is so crazy. This A lot of people needed this information. I'm in awe right now. Okay. So I'm going to read that again. No longer able to communicate with one another, humanity fractured into tribes of various dialects. Do you know that means that he did it on purpose? It is funny. It's punt punt. But he did it on purpose. He confused people on purpose. So with that being said, you know that it's not that easy. You can't just go look in the Bible and get the answer. You got to study life. You got to seek the truth, like he said. Seek, and you shall find. We read a daily Bible verse yesterday that said, what did it say? If you ask, you shall receive. If you seek, then you will find. Um, it was another one, but then if you knock, the door shall be open. So basically, if you seek, you shall find. And it's a perfect alignment with everything, because I don't, that word comes out just naturally. It may not fit for somebody else, like, oh, she said it wrong, but for me, I said it right. It's in perfect alignment, because yesterday that was the daily Bible verse, and today what we're talking about, is basically you have to seek information to find the truth. Now, knowledge can be used in many types of ways. When seeking knowledge, people like to continue on, and even after they found the point, their mind still the wheel keeps turning, and they need to know this, they need to know that, they need to go further, they need to know what would happen this. But there's a point in time where we have to draw the line at when it's appropriate to continue to seek and find further knowledge on that subject, on that matter. It's a time when you got to be like, okay, that's enough information. Okay, I stop. You know what I mean? But there are certain things for our well-being that we must know. So I feel like, as a curse from Adam and Eve, we are cursed to either seek knowledge until we seek so much knowledge that we put an ending to ourselves with the things that we've created, with the knowledge that we have took in, and things that, inventions and all types of stuff, and anything you think of as a creation or an invention. So all these things that we come up with, and I say we as humanity have come up with, can be the reason for our demise, or it can be a reason for our salvation. Is that the right word that you use, salvation? If it can be a reason for our demise, it can be the cause of our demise, or it could be the cause of our rise. Well, I'll say that better. The cause of our demise, or the cause of our rise. So depending on what we do with the knowledge that we acquire, and how we control ourselves when acquiring this knowledge. Because, see, when we get knowledge and we just want to keep going, we don't stop. Like I said, we don't stop. But you got to stop at an appropriate time. Some things we don't need to go any further. Once we find the truth, I think that we should stop. I think that once we find a happy way to live, we should stop. I think we should only, some things are done out of impulse and out of satisfaction, but not necessity. The things that are necessity, this is just my opinion right here. The things that are necessity, why don't we focus on those, mainly those things that are necessity. we tear ourselves down with things that we want to make ourselves comfortable. So anyways, so that was the plan. Some people might think that that's a bad thing, but it says it right here. um is that no longer able to communicate with one another, humanity fractured into tribes or various dialects, divided by language. We've struggled to understand each other ever since. But not only have we struggled to understand each other, we've battled against each other. That was basically, we were really put against each other. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad God at all. God is wonderful. God is good. But I told you, there's always something good that comes out of something bad that has to be done when he does it. That's the balance. And he there was a reason, by giving us different languages and putting us into different tribes. These are why we have different groups of people warring against each other, you know. And this is why it's going on like that, because it was really us who decided our fate. He gave us he gave us and it was what we were going to do. He gave us free will. He gave us free will, and it was up to us what we were going to do with it. So the things that we acquired and knowledge and created, it was up to us what we were going to do with it as humanity. Um, yeah, so it was kind of like he gave us the controller and let us drive ourselves. I mean, of course, he's always in control, but once again, he gave us free will, and he said, "What are you going to do with it?" And if we drove ourselves back to the ground, we drove ourselves back to the ground. Or if we rise up and then we rise up. So, but he guided us the whole way. The reason it was our decision is because some of us chose not to go that way, even though he was here guiding us the whole time. He never left, and I'm going to prove that. He never went anywhere. I'm going to prove that. He's always been real. I'm going to prove that. He's been speaking to people every day, and they just aren't listening. They aren't paying attention, and they aren't opening their eyes. Like, I can't open that one over there. So anyways, yeah, they're not paying attention, and they're not opening their eyes. Now, there are many people out here who know, but they're afraid to speak up. And some people who do speak up, and some people who speak up are deceivers. So you got to be careful, you know. But let's keep going. You got to be careful of the Decepticons, The Decepticons. They walk around with sheepskin on. Uh-huh.